All right. Morning, everyone. Let's call court to order. Today is Tuesday, August 6, 2024. It's 9 a.m. Proof of posting, please.
The agenda was posted on Thursday, August 1st, 2024 at 1 p.m.
All right, thank you. Let's stand briefly for a moment of silence, and then we'll have Steve Hernandez, Veteran Service Officer, lead us in the pledge.
Please join in the pledge. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I Texas pledge.
Under the Texas flag, I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
All right, thank you. Well, we've had a exciting last month or so working on budget. If you're predisposed to get excited about budgets. But I want to thank everyone for all the efforts and work put in Auditor's Office budget responsibilities and all their team doing a great job, but also all the department heads and elected officials that really understood what the landscape of our financial situation was going to be this year with property values not rising like they have been in the past. And so they were a soft rise, only 5%. And then, as most of you know, there's certain mandated expenses that are gifted to us by our state and federal leaders that require us to do things but don't send money to do it. And so that puts more burden on the local taxpayers as well. So we were able to lower the tax rate by 1%, which is 1 cent, 1 cent, which is, it took some work to do it, but the Commissioners Courts really got down and didn't do, broad cuts. It went down and drilled down into each individual expense item and looked at those and worked with all the department heads and elected officials. So I want to thank everybody publicly for that. This time, if there's any members of the public that are here to speak to the court on business matters, please do so at this time. Okay, seeing none, want to go to under D, under proclamations. We have nothing this week. On the consent agenda, I have some recommended pulls here. Under the consent agenda, the recommended pulls are E3A, E3B, E3C, and E7. Are there any other pulls recommended by the court besides those previously mentioned? If not, is there a motion to approve the consent agenda with the exception of those pulls previously mentioned?
So moved. Second.
Have a motion second. Any other discussion? No other discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Pass. I'd like to, Ryan, if you would come forward. I'd like to ask Ryan Durker to come up. I'd like to go to item E7 under one of the pulled items of consent agenda under the burn ban discussion. So, good morning.
Good morning, Judge. Judge Felton, Commissioners, good morning. So the KVDI average in the county right now is 528 and climbing. Some places in the county, however, have nearly hit 660. It's getting awfully dry, no rain in sight. I think it's a prudent move that the court adopt a burn ban this morning.
Okay. All right. Any questions anyone have for Ryan? All right. I'd make a motion that we adopt a burn ban.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Dustin, was there any particular thing we need to add to that motion to give us authority to take it off if it,
I think,
under recommendation of emergency management?
yes, sir. I think if the court would give you that authority in consultation with emergency management, then you can lift it at that time.
Okay. All right, so I'd amend my motion to say that I'd have the authority to take that off if directed by the emergency management group.
Amend my second.
All right, motion's made and second, both amended. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Pass. Thank you.
Thank y'all.
We'll monitor the heat now.
Sir, we'll keep an eye.
Okay. All right, I'd like to, since we have some guests here, to go ahead and cover a few reports. I'd like to go to N1. This is Texas A&M Agri-Life Extension Service presentation. This is on Family and Community Health Program. So, good morning. How are you, Rachel?
Good, how are you?
Fine.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
How's it going?
It's going great. It is going. It is rolling, and we're kind of ending down our fiscal year at AgriLife as well. It has not slowed down at all. I can say that, just coming back from our state conference that we were able to have in College Station last week. This is kind of a mid-year review for myself. I did start this position in McLennan County, January 30 of 2024. So we're about at the 6-month mark for me. I'm not new to extension, but I'm newer to the county. I just wanted to give kind of a background on what's been going on for those last 6 months. I know you receive my reports at the end of the month or beginning of the next month, but to share kind of our numbers starting February 1 until July 31st, more of last month. We've been able to conduct through McLennan County Family and Community Health about 67 programs. That is youth and adult combined, where we've reached a total of 1,361 participants. We usually shoot for around 3,000 participants a year. I'm hoping that I can get closer to 3,500, around 4,000. Our numbers are going up because we have seen a surge, as well as with youth participants, adult participants having different, I would say, partnerships with businesses and other disciplines throughout the community. We were just able to, this past weekend on Saturday, conduct a youth financial literacy simulation with Texas Farm Bureau, the headquarters here in Waco, where we had about 130 collegiate youth that are going to be receiving scholarships go through our financial simulation, where it is called Welcome to the Real World, or It's Your Money, where we go through more or less the game of life and give them a job, give them a budget. We teach them how to make sure they can pay their bills, how that they can set money aside for taxes, how to pay back student loans, what childcare costs, what having pets cost, insurance, everything that they can think of. And we're hoping to continue that partnership and have that as an annual program that we do every year with those collegiate youth. But other than that, the year's been going. Starting in September, we have a great partnership with McLennan Community College that does a lot of our marketing. I will be able to market through them again, so we're going to look at having about 20 programs per semester or per every 4 months with MCC, and then others throughout the county. So we're just looking for numbers to go up and keep getting great participation throughout the community with everyone else and our community leaders involved.
Good.
Thank you.
Any questions, anyone else?
Interesting.
I get those reports, and there's no doubt y'all stay very busy. Coming up in the fall, all the fall stock shows start getting ready to
We're getting
happen
ready
and-
to do validation coming up this next month. And I know Jared and Maddie are going to be knee-high in paperwork.
Yeah, from now all the way through March.
Yes.
It'll be very busy. So,
Yes.
and then the Junior Livestock Show in January, February, into January here too, so. Well,
Is there a date for the walk across Texas?
I don't have that date set right now. That is in We do that in conjunction with our BLT agent, our Better Living for Texans agent, April Strickland.
Okay.
We do have to turn those dates in pretty quickly, and as soon as we can have some time to kind of sit down and talk about it, we're setting dates as of, for the fall, actually, of 2025 as we speak.
Great.
Yes.
Well, the program you just spoke about, the financial literacy program, is something that's very important. The younger these kids learn, the better. Being a farmer banker, I can appreciate it and know that even seeing people that had been earning money for many years but still didn't know how to, handle it and those kind of things.
That
They
was
didn't get
one,
that.
we just had our Texas Community Futures Forum in May where we talked with some of the leaders in our community, about 20, 21 different leaders, and we asked them what are some of the things that we can address in AgriLife that kind of plague the community. And one of the biggest things that came up in community development and youth development and on some sides of ag was financial literacy for adults and for youth. Just seeing people that we have more or less know in the next 5 years that we'll actually have a large population of older adults that are 65 and up that are going to become either homeless or partially homeless. And we're looking at kind of closing that gap in between the wealth disparities through education, whether it be youth, adult, or older adult.
Good luck.
Thank you.
That'd be a tough one.
Lofty goal, but
Yeah.
you guys can do it.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank y'all.
All right, is there a motion to approve her report for
So
recording
moved.
purposes? We have a motion,
Second.
second.
Thank you, ma'am.
We have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? No other discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Pass. Thank you. All right, I'd like to go back to the pulled items on the consent agenda, the other pulled items. I'd like to go to, under E3A, no action necessary there. Under E3B, HR matter for Constable Precinct 2 is, okay, Anna's on.
Yes, sir. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, how are you?
I'm well. I have here a request from Constable Precinct 2. They're requesting approval to appoint and hire a full-time deputy constable into a vacant position for 25. The position was posted to the public and accepted applications for the required 5 days per policy. And the applicant, the department does confirm the applicant meets the minimum requirements of the position. And so we recommend this request for approval.
Any questions? What's the pleasure of the court?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? No other discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Pass. Going to items E3C under incentive pay matters.
Yes, I have here, we're requesting an exception be made for kind of a policy outlier. Going through and processing the incentive pay, there was a transfer identified, a mid-review period transfer from an employee 3654. They were a court administrator for County Court of Law 3, and they were transferred to the 414th District Court. This is related to Judge Luna's move to the district court, and he just took his court administrator along with him. So it's technically a transfer, which warrants a policy exception because it was more administrative in nature. This isn't an employee initiating a transfer themselves. So we recommend this exception of the policy that normally doesn't allow transfers be eligible for incentive pay. We're recommending that exception be made.
Yeah, she had to move with her team, so,
Yeah.
I agree,
It's easy.
absolutely. I agree, absolutely.
Of course.
all right. So I'd make a motion, we approve that request.
Second.
There's a motion second. Any other discussion? No other discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Pass.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, next, let's see, that concludes all the pull matters, so we'd go to under items F. These are bids, RFPs, RFQs under F1 authorization proposal for with Waco paving. This pertains to the parking lot reconstruction for Cobb's building, where A&M AgriLife is. So, TJ? Or Ken?
Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
So this is the bid that we had put together for over at Cobb's. This includes the front parking lot and down the side all the way to the far edge of the building. And then we will hold and possibly do phase 2 at a further date and time. So this is pretty much a complete redo of the parking lot. They're going to go in, mill everything up, go back in with 2 inches of asphalt. So we've reviewed this. Everything seems to be good to go, and we recommend it for approval.
So, how long would it take them, you think?
I haven't asked them on the duration, and I'm not sure it was included in the quote as well.
Okay,
But we're wanting to get it done before the end of the budget year
Yeah.
if we do proceed.
okay, so,
Are we just approving the front today? Because
Yeah.
it says front and back here, but I think it
we're only
means
doing the front,
front and side.
yeah, front and side.
Yes.
And then we'll do the back on another
Okay,
phase.
and so that's the 48,175.
That's correct.
Okay.
And then the
Yes,
only
sir.
thing is, the start, if we can get a start date and how long it'll take, so we can notify AgriLife.
It needs to be
do
for
that.
sure, not conflict with the HOT fair time, things like that.
Well, I think what we can do, TJ, is, if y'all will get with, Dr. McClellan and figure out the timeline.
Okay, yes, sir, we sure can.
All right, do we have a motion?
Yeah, I'll make a motion.
All right, we have a motion and, is there
I'll
a second?
second.
Have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? No other discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Pass. All right, Dustin, you want to
Thank
pick
you.
up the agenda from there?
Yes, sir. If it's okay, could we drop down to item N6? We have Jared on the, on Zoom. It's regarding the November 5th, 2024 joint general election. It's authorization of order of general election and other matters. I know, Jared, we want to be able to move forward with some of these today, but also waiting on some info that we can put back on the agenda.
Yeah, that's correct. So, first thing we need to do is we just need to approve the order of election. This is just a formality saying we are going to be holding an election here in November. The other items we had on the agenda was we were going to bring about the poll judges that needed to be approved. One of our parties couldn't get it in time, so we're going to look at doing that at a later date. So, we just need to approve that order of election.
Okay. All right, any questions? What's the pleasure of the court?
Motion to approve.
Second?
Have a motion, second, any other discussion? No other discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Pass.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, moving back up to item F2, authorization of proposal with M&E Consultants for site visit, drone, and topographic survey of county drainage channels. Same?
Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
This is a proposal to have the drainage ditch. It's a concrete line drainage ditch that starts roughly around Spate Avenue between 24th and 26th, South 24th and South 26th Street within Waco city limits. It goes down across Highway I-35 and to Primrose, and then it crosses another drainage channel that's the county's at South 12th Street and Garden Drive. And then it continues in the southeasterly manner all the way to South University Parks. That's the concrete line channel. The easement, drainage easement actually crosses South University Parks in a southeasterly direction towards and to the Brazos River. And so this proposal is from M&E Consultants, who has a lot of experience working with water projects. Their proposal is not to exceed $16,000 and will include on-the-ground land survey as well as aerial drone survey to make it a report that determines which parts of the channel needs to be repaired, which parts need to be replaced, and which parts need to just be cleaned out. It's roughly 5 miles in length, and after review of this proposal, this will get us a good start, get us an idea of what lies before us, so it's recommended for approval.
Okay. I guess my initial thought is how is this not the city of Waco's?
I think that's all our question.
It's sitting, it's like a little island in the middle of all city of Waco's property.
Yeah.
it services their drainage in their neighborhoods. And that's, that's my initial thought.
So the land is still considered county land, even though it's within the city of Waco. And we've been called out on other parts of the drainage channel to remove squatters and other issues. City of Waco still feels that this is our land and our responsibility. There's only a small section of the channel that's been deeded over to the city of Waco, and we have notated that on our maps. And my office has been abstracting all of the parcels to make sure that we still own the property. And if we still own the property, then it's still our county property to maintain. So, and the city of Waco has reached out to us to try to get the channel cleaned up.
Yeah,
So
but
who
they
put
have.
the concrete drainage system in? to
We
begin
did,
with?
we built it
How long ago?
in 1930s.
I wasn't even here then.
What, has there been any sort of legal review of this at all?
Legal review?
Uh-huh.
No, it's,
I would be interested in that.
Yeah.
Curious,
Yeah, I would want to know.
and how it could be deeded over or abandoned
Right.
legally.
Christmas in August.
Yeah.
So this is roughly going to be a $4 million project? Is that correct?
I just threw that number out there thinking that 5 miles of concrete, well, 4 to 5 miles concrete
Yeah.
channel, roughly 40 feet in width.
Uh-huh.
You've seen the pictures in the background
Yeah, right,
data,
uh-huh.
and so it's pretty substantial
I
channel.
think there needs to be.
Overgrown, but it still moves water, doesn't it?
It does, however, if that one picture that I put in with the data, the channel's broken. The bottom of the channel.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it-
it's in
missing-
bad shape.
It's missing
It's-
pieces of
It's like,
concrete.
There's no question about that.
yeah, it's in
And-
bad shape,
Yeah.
just
But
like
even-
all the drainage channels
Even
are.
with,
and-
I mean, dirt ditches move water, so even if the concrete's broken, that doesn't mean it won't move water.
So one of the legal aspects.
Well, do you think it's gonna go down in the ground right
Right,
there?
so one of the legal aspects that could be looked at is in that picture, it shows some power poles.
Yeah, I saw
So
those.
apparently we gave a utility company an easement within part of the channel to put their power
Yeah,
poles.
they're sitting right in the channel.
Secondly, the ballpark is at Spate. It has their fence right there on the edge of our channel. So if our channel falls in, as you're talking about, and property owners start to lose their property into our channel and then bring suit against the county because we have not been properly maintaining the channel, there's that.
Like I said, I'd be interested in how to deed that over. Or,
Okay, well, it's good information.
I think we've gotta do that first part.
I'd like to offer that we defer this, but let's look from the other standpoint, but if it ends up, it's gonna be important that we get a consultant involved to tell us what the size of the problem is.
Yeah, that's what this proposal is, just
Yeah.
for them to get boots on the ground. Even Waco, if it were deeded over to them, I mean, they would have to figure out what extent, how much money,
Yeah.
what's the worst part that needs to be repaired initially. But from a legal aspect, they're going to want to know, do we own the property or do we not?
Yeah.
And so that's my office is concluding the abstracting process
And
to,
I think the comment about get a legal review really didn't have to do with ownership of the property. It's within a municipality, what are the ways that we can, we want to look at, see if there's other options to transfer the asset with its liabilities and what that would entail. I mean, I think that's what we're talking about. I don't think
And I
there's a
think there
question
needs
we
to be
own the
some sort of negotiation with the city
Yeah.
on this, because there's the benefit that they're going to receive from from us doing this work to clean this ditch out, and
Other than us owning that.
yeah, other than just saying, well, y'all own it and y'all should maintain it. I don't know where it says in the Constitution, the state constitution, that we have to, that's our mandate to do that. Is there any law that says that we have to, necessarily do that?
There probably is. I mean, I would think if we owned it and it creates a liability, I think it would be, so I need to figure out, does this tie into what's called Waco Creek?
No.
No, it goes all the way to the Brazos River.
That's, well, so does Waco Creek, well, it goes into Baylor.
This
But it's
does,
another, it's one that's like it, that, when there's a lot of rain, because it's cluttered, it backs up water and then it floods out into the neighborhoods and causes lots of damage and,
yeah, there is a section of this drainage easement that we do have to maintain. We have the ability and the legal authority to maintain from South University Parks to the river. For whatever reason, they did not build the concrete channel from South University Parks to the river. It could have been a funding issue. Could have been that the city just wasn't developed out that far back in the 1930s.
Is that in the city limits,
Yeah.
this last,
When it gets to South University Parks,
Uh-huh.
just on the east side of South University Parks, it becomes county or city ETJ.
okay, I'm looking at the map here. So I see South University Parks and then the Little League complex.
Yeah, my map didn't show all the way to east to the river.
Well, there's one in the packet
Okay,
that one.
all right.
So so is the county, where is the limit there?
I can provide you
Okay.
a map of
All
where the
right.
county limit is and the city limits
All
are
right, great.
at another time.
But that drainage part that you're talking about to the river, that's just south of the Little League ballparks then?
Yes.
Where it's a lot of treed area through there, and they're building right on the other side of it. That's where that village that they're.
Yeah.
But I was thinking Waco. I was thinking that was part of
So-
Waco.
And so in the thirties, I would assume this
None of
was
it, yeah.
all county.
yeah, rural property.
And then what they've done is they've annexed everything but the ditch. And so I have no issues pushing back a little bit whatsoever.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. I think the consulting fee the consulting probably needs to be done regardless.
Yeah, and would that consulting include
It's just survey to figure
Huh.
out,
topo and
topographic,
work?
And it's
scope
got
of
some-
work, and to see, because the picture that I included in the backup data shows pretty dilapidated channel, and it's got some utility poles in there. It's missing concrete. Parts of the fence further down is starting to lean into the channel, just because the ground's giving way.
Where is this picture
Taken,
taken?
South 24th, between South 24th, South 26th, on Spate Avenue. There's a small little vicinity map
Yeah.
in the lower left-hand corner. It's kind of hard to see, it's so small.
Oh, there it is, okay.
You know, and the reason I say this is if anything's developed
Well, that's
in
way in the
ETJ right
city.
now, they tell us what specs and then we have to pay for it, right? Even though it's ETJ, we still have to deal with the roads.
Yep.
What's the difference? All right, we don't have ETJ in the county, but it's just, you know, when the shoe's on the other foot, it's not real fun.
Yeah.
And we get, you know, ETJ is our responsibility, is it not, to keep up and take care of?
It's for them to build, and then for us to take care of until the city annexes
Right.
it. Correct.
I look at this very similar as you guys annexed everything but this bridge. Okay? That's the cost of doing business. That's, yes, just like ETJ's their property, for the most part, we still have to pay for it.
I think one difference is that when they annexed, the roads that are within the ETJ, the county does not own the roads. We do own an easement.
But it doesn't matter. We pay for it. And I guess the situation here is when you're going to annex, and you're going to say, we're going to annex everything but that, because it could run into a cost someday. I have issue on principle. That's totally wrong.
That's exactly what it
That's
feels
totally
like.
wrong.
Okay. So do y'all want to go ahead and do the review?
I would almost say, let's hold off on the consultant until we get a good, clear picture of if it's gonna be our responsibility or not. That would be my hope.
That's kind of what my initial thought was.
So defer.
It's been there a long time. And that reminds me of the sign shop when water from Waco Creek backed up in there. I called the city of Waco and said, it caused us a lot of damage and all that. And they said, yeah, it does that. It's grown up, but it cost $28 million to clean it. And
So there is no rush on this project. There's no imminent threat to the public safety
Yeah,
or health.
so there's not been any flooding issues in the area due to this ditch? Do we know that?
I do not know that. I guess the city of Waco could maybe look at their records to see if there was flooding issues in the city at this location. They did bring it to my attention that they've started receiving complaints from the property owners that are butting up adjacent to the ditch, and so they want something done about the ditch. And so that's when I did some more research, found out, oh yeah, the county owns this property. It's this county-owned property within the city limits. It's our structure. Let's get a proposal, what it would take. Let's just see how bad the issue is, and that's what this proposal is for.
okay. Interesting. Okay, I make a motion, we defer.
Second.
Motion made, second, any other discussion? No other discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, pass.
So
Thank you.
where do we go from here, I guess?
Well, I think first we, like you mentioned, get attorney, sit down and talk about, do we have any options? What happens in other city-county negotiations in regards to these type of situations? So that's where I'd start.
We will look
I'd love
for
to help
legal.
out with that. if
Okay, yeah,
it's
I
possible.
want you to.
So we'll look for legal to give us some direction.
Yeah,
Okay.
see if we have options.
Okay.
So what I would say is our legal contacting city's legal, just to have initial discussions and then engineers talk after, after that.
And I'd even, if it comes back and it's ours, I would certainly be interested in prioritizing projects so that we don't shoulder them all at one time, even if they've
So,
been out for several years.
with that line of thinking, the easiest, the lowest hanging fruit would be to get a skid steer down in the bottom of the channel and clean out all the trash, the sediment, debris, any small twigs and stuff that that's growing up, all that can be cleaned out with the skid steer, I would imagine. So that would be not a very high cost. The high cost will come if we have to replace concrete channel with other new reinforced concrete channel.
I think in the discussion, that we talk about other properties that the city and the county it's kind of confusing when they share roads from the center. And they want to do they want the road to look like this, and we're on the other side of it, and we're saying, well, that's way exceeds our, what we normally would ask to do. And so we might take an inventory of all those things like that and sit down for one discussion about doing a horse trade.
Might that include the alley between the courthouse and the annex?
Yeah, and, we've pitched that out there, and my understanding was that wasn't gonna be a problem, that they would deed it to us, but yeah, we need to get that nailed down pretty quick. So,
Okay, thank you.
thank you.
Interesting.
All right, Dustin?
All right, moving on to item G, contracts and interlocal agreements. G1 is authorization of interlocal cooperation agreement with the city of Waco by and through the Waco-McLennan County Public Health District for on-site sewage facilities. This is our annual contract with the health district to handle the OSSF program for the county. Preliminary budget has an amount of $81,157 allocated for this. I did get one change from city legal yesterday, wanting to change this. Instead of with the city of Waco buying through the health district, they want the contract to be with the health district. I don't see any issues with that. I have reached out to Mike just to let him know. So do recommend this for approval, subject to that one minor change.
All right, I'd make that motion.
Second.
I have a motion second. Any other discussion? No other discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Pass.
Under G2 is authorization of agreement for interpreter services with Cheryl Sloan, and G7 authorization of agreement for interpreter services with Diane Bowles. So we received word from Sign of the Times that they are closing one of their divisions, which will affect the interpreter services we receive. So we've reached out to these interpreters. They are willing to provide their services. They'll bill the county $100 for the first hour. The fee will then drop to $50 an hour for each hour after that. And it's billed in 15-minute increments. And we are, IT is researching closed captioning and other options as well. So these are recommended for approval.
All right, any questions?
Motion to approve.
Second?
All right, that's a motion for G2 and G7.
Correct.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? No other discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, pass.
G3 is authorization of master services agreement and related business associate agreement with Transferall LLC for online mobile application platform for specialty court mental health court services. John?
Yes, this is just a, excuse me, this is access for an online mobile application for the mental health court coordinator with Baylor Scott White Hospital for behavioral health patients. There's nothing here, it's just a protection of information related to a master services agreement. We have reviewed this and it is recommended for approval.
Okay, any questions? If not, what's the pleasure of the court?
Move to approve.
Second?
I have a motion second. Any other discussion? No other discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, pass.
G4 is authorization of agreement and related business associate agreement with Christian Farms Treehouse for substance use disorder treatment services for a specialty court. Those rates for the services are included in your packet and they are covered under grant funding. And should the grant funding run out, the participant can choose to continue at their own cost, but at no time would county funds be used for any continued participation. So it's recommended for approval.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Have a motion second. Any other discussion? No other discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, pass.
G5 can be pulled with no action. It was a duplicate agenda item.
All right, pull, no action.
Moving on to G6, authorization of parking lot lease with GE Walker and Associates for the sheriff's office. This is the parking lot we had leased from Washington Partners originally, and now Jed Walker, they have bought this location. So the rent for this will be $1,000 a month. The term of the lease is August 1st, 2024 to July 31st, 2025. And this is an increase. It was had moved up to $550 a month previously. But visiting with David, this is something we need to continue.
So it's up $450 a month.
That's $12,000 a year.
Yes.
For the,
Any other questions or comments?
Yeah, my question would be, because I think I've maybe asked this a long time ago, but how did we miss out on buying the lot?
So I had Jim Peavy contact them to try to purchase it, and it was not for sale. So we just weren't included.
I think that's a shame. We've been, I think, pretty good tenants there for the people for a long time.
Yeah.
Not even be given the opportunity to purchase it.
so it's that lot that's there at 9th and Columbus behind the sheriff's department.
Right.
That's right. And there's about 30 spots in the back gated area of the sheriff's office, about 10 on the side, and this adds approximately 20 spots.
Okay.
Motion to approve.
Is there a second?
Maybe we could trade a ditch for a parking lot.
That's a navigable stream, actually.
Exactly.
Seasonal stream, seasonal creek,
Got to dress it up a little bit.
seasonal, call it a seasonal creek.
Put a dam-
EPA might get after us.
I think it, yeah, I mean, they've got to have the parking. There's no
Yeah.
parking around there. I just think it's a shame we weren't given that
Well-
opportunity.
Is David on? I'm just
He
curious.
is not, but
How many spots?
Katie is on.
20.
Yeah, but how many do we actually use, I guess is my
Yeah.
question.
How much of that?
I
do
work,
we-
excuse me, Commissioner, this is Katie Taylor.
Mhm.
I work at this downtown building and I can tell you that all of these spots are nearly full every day of the work week. So we do heavily utilize these parking spaces.
Thanks, Katie. I forgot we've got good representatives in the back from you guys, so sorry
Yes, sir.
about that, fellas.
I would also ask that, that we continue to look at, I guess, first of all, with the agreement with them, is there a 30-day out or something like that if we come up with some other alternatives?
Is there a,
It's a lease, so.
I'm looking at it right now. Yeah, either party may terminate with 30 days written notice.
perfect.
I think that's something we need to look heavily at. Not only for missing out on the opportunity to buy it, but also for the amount of increase.
All right, any other questions or comments?
I still have a motion on the floor.
Second.
I think there's a second too.
Was there a second?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, have a motion second, any discussion? No discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Pass.
Under item H, Waco McLennan County Economic Development Corporation, H1, authorization of revisions to financial documents. This needs to be deferred again.
All right, is there a motion to defer?
Motion to defer.
Second.
Have a motion second, any other discussion? No discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Pass.
Under item I, capital improvement and construction projects, I1s regarding the Old Springfield Road Waterline Improvement Project, engineering services agreement with Walker Partners, invoice. Zane?
Yes, sir. So the Walker Partners is continuing to work on the water line plans for Old Springfield Road, and they have submitted their invoice totaling $13,965.27 through June. The invoice has been reviewed and is recommended for approval.
All right, any questions?
Any deadline or any idea on when this part will be through so we can actually start laying a water line?
I expect the plans to be completed this month.
Good,
We can bid it
Good.
out in September.
good,
And then start construction in October.
Yeah, right.
excellent.
It's just right, it's right on the, this is another thing that's right on that
It's
line.
just interesting,
Yeah.
because this is a city of Waco kind of quasi,
Yep, right
Deal.
back there where we were.
Well,
and the only reason we took it up is because Commissioner Miller.
that's right.
So here we are fixing to help put a water line in to assist the city of Waco in selling water. And we got to keep a ditch clean. That's all. I'm just bringing up the,
So that was approved?
Have we done anything? Did we?
we didn't yet.
I don't remember.
I'd make a motion to approve.
Second.
Have a motion second, any other discussion? No other discussion?
ARPA is gonna pay for this, is that correct?
Dustin?
ARPA will pay for the project, but the count, we're paying, general fund's paying for the engineering services due to federal procurement, but the ARPA will pay for the project itself.
And that was agreed sometime back.
Right, yeah. I just did, I mean, I knew, right, and so it was, you know, this issue was an issue that had been ignored by a previous commissioner, and so it got us to where we're at today, and I'm glad that we're getting this fixed for these people out there.
Yeah, they've been out with,
Deserve it.
They
they've
haven't
had
had
zero
water.
water for years.
Haven't had water, so.
Okay. We have
Well,
motion
that's-
second?
Yes.
Give it-
All right. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Pass.
Thank you.
All right, under item J, budget amendments, J1s regarding the FY24 budget. Francis?
Thank you. So starting with J1A for 2024 budget amendments. J1A is in the general fund for 19th District Court. He is requesting to move within that department into other services and charges for costs for the remainder of the year. J1B is general fund capital outlay. This request is from the sheriff's office for the jail. There's an essential need that has come up for equipment that is not operating properly in the kitchen. So specifically a tilting skillet, braising pan, and then a planetary mixer. So they have found funds to purchase those items in this year within their departments. And so the request is to move that into capital outlay to make those purchases. J1C, this is General Fund for County Court at Law 1, requesting to move within their department into professional development for costs for the remainder of the year. J1D, this is General Fund County Judge, requesting to move within their department into supplies for the remaining cost for the current fiscal year. J1E1, this is General Fund Countywide Department. We're proposing to move from contingencies into repair and maintenance, and this would cover the cost related to the Prairie Chapel School repair that was approved on the July 23rd agenda. J1E2, this is General Fund Countywide as well, and we are needing to increase the line items for professional services. This is related to various LAN water planning agreements, and they have all been approved on previous agendas. J1F, this is General Fund Countywide Road and Bridge. We're requesting to move within that department. It's really within the same line. We're just moving to a specific line with a project for Holy Road, and these are engineering costs related to that project. J1G, this is Fund 419, 2019 bond proceeds. The request is to increase the line item we have for Patton Branch Road, and this is some additional costs from Langerman Engineering. J1H, this is General Fund Mental Health Court, requesting to move within that department for a need for supplies for the remainder of the year. And J1I, this is in the General Fund for pretrial services. As you remember, we have part-time magistrates now that work within that department at the jail. There is a need for judicial liability insurance. We carry that on all of our judges, but we need to also have that on those. And so Judge Bain has found another line item in his budget that we can move from to accommodate that cost for this year. And then J1J is General Fund Road and Bridge Precinct 1, requesting to move from contingencies in that department to road construction materials and motor vehicle operating for the remainder of the year.
Okay.
That should be it.
All right, that concludes all recommended transfers regarding FY24 budget. So is there, unless there's any questions, is there a motion to approve J1 through to JIJ? Wait, J1J.
Move to approve all items from J1A through J1J.
J, yeah.
Get it straight.
All right. Have a motion second. Any other discussion? No other discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Pass.
All right, J2 is regarding the FY25 budget. Francis, do you have anything today?
I was thinking maybe we'd come back to this at the end, if that's okay.
Okay. All right, we have nothing under item K. Under item L, grants, grant proposals. L1's regarding the U.S. Department of Treasury. It's our ARPA discussion, and I believe, Francis, you have a specific thing under discussion and/or action regarding eligible expenses and/or funding guidelines.
Thank you. So we talked some during budget workshops last week about the piece of ARPA funding that is known as the loss revenue piece. And of course, that was to cover drops in revenue during COVID. It's really open-ended in that you can use those funds for, general government services. Originally, it was discussed that we would use that for capital projects or a specific capital project. But just because of the pressure that puts on timelines, because ARPA, it's grant funding, very specific timelines that we need to follow, we're requesting that we change the use of those funds over to another use, and then it'll free up funds that we will be able to use for capital projects. That total amount is $9,064,099.64. We would recommend that we use that to cover personnel cost in the current fiscal year. Our consultant, Forvis, also agreed that that would be a good use of those funds. And we've talked that over, of course, with Dustin Chapman
Yeah.
and Mike Dixon as well.
Dustin, you have any comments on that?
No, sir. We think it's like Francis said, it takes the pressure off of meeting that December 31st obligation deadline. It's definitely an allowable expense, and then this frees up. That money will then be in permanent improvement fund to be able to use on the project anyway. So.
Right. Okay.
And so we could proceed with reclassing those expenditures and working, on that grant documentation now. We can talk about the implications on the next year's budget if we want to go back to the 2025 topic
All right.
today or next time.
Any thoughts from the court?
I think it's a great idea. I appreciate all the work y'all have put into it. With the amount of capital improvement projects we've got coming up in the future, I think any way we can make it work to take care of that needs to be done. So I definitely support it.
Is that a motion?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Second.
All right, have a motion. Second, any other discussion? No other discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Pass.
Right under L1A, approval of blanket orders for beneficiary and subrecipient agreements, and we request this be deferred again, please.
All right.
Motion to defer.
We have a motion and a second to defer. Any other discussion? No other discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Pass.
L1B is regarding the professional services agreement with BKD Forvis. It's now Forvis Mazars, authorization of grant administration services invoice through June 2024. This invoice totals $5,242.51. It has been reviewed and is recommended for approval.
Motion to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? No other
Discussion. Is it possible to add a running total to this when we get it each court meeting?
Sure, I bet we can either do that or ask Forvis to do that.
Okay. that'd be
Yes, sir.
fine. Thank you.
All right, we have a motion and a second, I believe.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
No other discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Pass.
L1C is authorization of legal services invoices from Haley and Olson PC for ARPA matters for June 2024, and this invoice totals $1,340. It's been reviewed and recommended for approval.
Move to approve.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? No other discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Pass.
L2 is regarding the Texas Parks and Wildlife Local Park Grant Program application, ratification of pledge letters. As we discussed last court session, part of the grant application packet needed these pledge statements from the county. So TJ and I provided those, and we just need a motion to approve the ratification of those pledge letters.
I'll move we approve.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? No other discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Pass.
Under item M, Department Office Specific Request, M1's District Courts, County Courts at Law, update on caseloads and related matters. If we can defer this today, Judge Vick and Judge Coley will be in court on August the 20th to provide this update.
All right, I'll
Motion.
make a motion. We defer.
I second.
Have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? No other discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Pass.
Right, moving down to item N2, discussion and/or action regarding Midway Independent School District vehicle request. Captain Nixon, do you want to cover this?
Morning, Jeff.
Morning.
We got a written request from Midway ISD. They are forming a police department within their ISD and asking for one of our used vehicles that we're sending to auction, a Chevrolet Caprice car with police equipment on it. My recommendation on this particular request is for approval because I feel like it's a good use of one of our former vehicles there at the school district. Midway ISD covers, a number of Hewitt, Waco, Woodway, and then a number of the county areas. Children go to the Midway ISD. The vehicle usage is different than some of the other requests we've had in that they're not asking for it as a patrol vehicle. It's just to drive from campus to campus, but mainly as a visual deterrent when it's at the campuses from something occurring at that campus. They see a police vehicle there, it tends to be a deterrent. So that, my recommendation is to approve.
And what, it's a 2015,
Chevrolet Caprice, yes, sir.
okay, gotcha. All right, other questions, I know you.
Issue,
Yes, sir.
Captain. We had a request from a volunteer fire department that stayed on the agenda for several months and never had a vehicle available.
Yes, sir.
And finally pulled it until one became available.
They were
So
requesting.
how did they leapfrog?
Right, they were requesting a Tahoe specifically. This is a
So
Chevrolet
did we-
Caprice
I
car.
was wondering if we ever reached out to them to see if this would work.
We did not, sir, but the vehicle they were replacing was a Tahoe, and they requested a SUV to be able to put their emergency medical stuff in that vehicle.
Do we have anything coming up that might fit that?
Possibly, Judge. It's, when we get the vehicles in, we still have 9 vehicles that are coming in on this year's budget, 9 Tahoes. So we'll have 9 coming off the road, and then we'll have to look at each Tahoe
Okay.
individually.
But, yeah, and I don't disagree with the thought behind it. I think we need to be ready for the precedent we set when we start offering these vehicles, people request them, so
I agree completely, and
just be ready.
I'm not, there are other school districts that are probably a little less fortunate than Midway ISD. So.
Just the request we received.
Yeah, and they don't have any control over that. I mean, they got it in writing, and that's just how it came to the SO. But I think if we do it, then we, and I don't have a problem with it because it's helping a school district out, and I'm all for that. I just think we need to be prepared in the future to see some more. And would you agree with that?
I would agree, yes, sir.
Well, it may be that we have to weigh between, we have 1 vehicle and 3 requests. We might have to go through a methodology of,
Create a policy of some sort.
Yeah, I would. I'd say odd man out or flip a coin.
flip coin.
Yeah, something very scientific.
Well, I think it probably needs to be based on resources and
Number of
capability
folks served.
and that are in the county.
Which Midway does, it's a wide, a lot of folks there. So
They do,
And
absolutely.
if I may, I just need to share, we had another request for a Tahoe as well. I put them off because we'd already discussed it and we didn't have one available. I didn't bring it to court.
From a different entity
Yes, we did.
than Mark?
If they're making a specific request, that's not on us.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want us
it
to
was
feel
a-
guilty. If they're asking for a Tahoe, they didn't say a vehicle, they said a Tahoe.
Yeah, good point, good point,
That's a good idea.
good point. I just, it is what it is.
Is it a public entity? I mean,
Yes, yes.
My motion would be to approve the request.
Second.
Have a motion, second, any other discussion? No other discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, pass. Thank you, Captain.
Thank you.
All right, moving on. Moving on to item N3, discussion and/or action regarding Texas Department of Motor Vehicles 2025 local optional fees as per Chapter 502 of the Texas Transportation Code. This section gives the county's authority to impose optional fees in addition to registration fees. So we have 2 of those. N3As are regarding county road and bridge fee. It may not exceed $10, and we're currently at that maximum level. And then N3B is regarding the child safety fee, and it cannot exceed $1.50, and we are at that maximum level as well.
So, the motion would be if we wanted to keep it at that level.
Right, our choices are either basically decrease the fees or make no changes.
Okay.
Make a motion that we make no changes.
Second.
Have a motion, second, any other discussion? No other discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, pass.
We will hold N4 until after an executive session. So moving on to N5, approval of order for acceptance of monetary donations for the McLennan County Christmas event. TJ or Francis?
So this is to.
Yes, this-
Oh, go ahead. No, you go ahead, TJ.
This is just the ratification of the funds that were donated to the Christmas service programs. Both events did extremely well, so thanks everyone for participating in that. But it was $592 from the bake sale and then $488 from the ice cream sales.
All right, I would make a motion, we accept those monetary donations and give thanks to all those volunteers that work to do this program. It's not only funds go for a good purpose, but it's a good teamwork in our group. And again, another reason to make us proud of them.
I'll second with the comment of, it's interesting that we have a bake sale and an ice cream sale, and Will's asking questions about when does Walk Across Texas start? So,
Hey, maybe we can do something that doesn't involve sweets. How about that?
Well, the next one doesn't involve, it's.
Barbecue?
Barbecue.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yep, ask and you shall receive.
As long as there's some turkey there.
When is that gonna be?
Well, yeah.
It's not this week, but next week, TJ?
Next Wednesday, I think.
awesome.
Right, the 14th.
I will note that I did not participate in either one of these, and that I did a good job of shaming Commissioner Perry into not taking part in the ice cream. So,
Well, I would say I stepped far enough away from you where you had no influence over me.
If you folks thinks his job's easy, it's not. He walked in here with a bowl of ice cream and sodas and cups.
So to not let this get too further out of hand, we have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Pass.
All right, moving down to item N7, Greater Waco Chamber of Commerce. N7A's monthly economic development report for June 2024, and N7B's the Workforce and Talent Initiative quarterly services report for April through June. Chris?
Good morning, Chris.
Good morning. Glad to see everybody. You have before you in your packet several reports from our organization. You have the economic development report, and it has been it's been a good year for us so far. We tend to see a little bit of a slowdown during the summertime, people taking vacations and whatnot. So for the month of June, we had 5 attraction inquiries. That brings us to 32% of our goal for the year. Submissions of proposals, we are a little bit under where we've been in the past, but we do know that we are seeing more and more acceleration of projects. So the month of, towards the end of July and into August, we've seen quite a number of new leads coming through our door. We're still hosting people here, so our on-site attraction visits are doing really well. So we're at 82% of our goal for the year. Our business retention program is doing very well, so we're at 54% of our goal. So we did 10 visits in the month of June. Lexi's doing a great job of doing those visits. I would certainly encourage, if you get an invitation for a visit in your district, please, if your schedule allows, join us for that. It does mean a lot to those businesses to know that their public officials are engaged and know and care about their presence in the community. From that, we have had a couple of expansion leads that come through. Certainly a lot easier to grow the folks that are here than attracting new people into the marketplace. And maintaining that strong industry base is really important to the work that we do as we're trying to bring new folks into the community. So we've seen an uptick in expansion opportunities with existing businesses. I will say that, just like we're competing to win projects, they're competing for dollars within their own organizations too. And so we've been asked by several of those companies to help identify where are the opportunities for support from the local community. So you may hear us or see us bringing some opportunities to you for consideration in the near future. Business assistance requests are on par with where they were the same time last year, and certainly been doing a little bit more traveling than we were the same time last year too. So overall, the project pipeline remains really strong. We're seeing both domestic and foreign direct investment opportunities coming through the door, and that's been great for us. There's lots of interest and activity happening in the state of Texas still in a variety of different industries, and and we're seeing the effects of that in the community. We talked about that with the EFC project announcement that happened last 2 weeks ago. and that's supporting the semiconductor and aerospace industry. But we're seeing things that are happening in a variety of different worlds, including professional services, a lot of strong growth in manufacturing still on the horizon, and logistics too. As we talk about the workforce and talent, one of the big things that we've accomplished this summer was our first externship program. And that was where we were hosting a number of educators from across McLennan County into different businesses. And so through a grant from the Howmet Foundation, we were able to provide each of those educators with a stipend for their participation in the program. And there was certainly more need from those educators. So we saw a higher level of demand than we were able to fill. And we anticipate that this is going to be a program that continues to grow for us. And showing the success through this program will help us to engage more businesses and get their buy-in to participate. We'll be able to increase the number of teachers that we're bringing through the system. We'll also be able to use this as a great example to other foundations that are interested in participating and providing additional funding to support our workforce and talent initiatives. So that's the first piece that we've, I would say, major milestone in addition to the collaborative efforts that we've been making with our various education and workforce partners. So there are 22 different partners that we've been bringing to the table to engage. That's a lot of cats to herd. But the fact that there's a willingness amongst all to come to the table and see how can we work together to provide more access and education opportunities to students and awareness around workforce, and even into the counselors and providing them with more information about opportunities for students to go into beyond the traditional four-year college degreed programs, and to let them know where are the opportunities within the student's own backyard to engage. That's been a great partnership that we're continuing to see to flourish. And there is new marketing and messaging that we're collaborating with as a group to push out through the various avenues that those partners have. So you think about a school district has a lot of ways that they engage parents in those conversations. So they have a lot of different avenues that they can push that marketing information out to them, and maybe change some perceptions about what it means to go to work in the community, and that there are lots of high-paid, skilled positions available in the marketplace that their student can go into if they're choosing not to go into a traditional higher education pathway upon graduation. So there's that. And it's even an opportunity to create awareness for parents that are looking for opportunities to move into something new as well. And that's where being able to push information, like with our partnership with the worksite and what's happening there, and upskilling individuals to move them into a new and higher level of income earning and skill set. There's a lot of different opportunities that we're working on related to that. So the work continues. Tiffany and Rachel are doing an excellent job of engaging employers. We're always looking for more employers to be part of the conversation. So I would just say, as you're out having those conversations with businesses about a variety of things, letting them know that there's a need for their engagement in this conversation is a really big piece of what we're working on.
I was reading an article last week about a lot of the big major companies that moved to Texas and located in Austin. And then after COVID, a lot of them quit coming to the offices. They allowed them to work. And so it's caused some of those companies to start saying, we've got to reduce our cost, overhead, office space, and those kind of things. And some of them are moving out of Austin.
Yeah.
Yes,
For
sir.
numerous reasons. And Houston is the big recipient. But I would think for those really big companies like Google moved a big division out, and some of those medium-sized or smaller ones could be looking in Texas. They're already in Texas, but they're in Austin. Their employees can't get to work. and all the policies and all within the city that make it difficult to do business, that
Yes, sir.
possibly we would be an alternative to those. And, I've talked to the Williamson County judge, that we discussed that as well.
And Williamson County's certainly been a recipient of some of those.
Right.
Um,
They have, and they're about to reach their limit, so
It
right up
it
the
moves.
road.
It moves, absolutely. It
we're
moves.
sitting here, and then
Yes, sir.
Belton, and we've received benefit too, but
Yes, sir.
so Austin may be another place to really focus on, and be calling on the existing companies that are
Yes, sir.
well established.
And it's not just, the cost for the business to operate in that area. It's also the cost for their employees to live in that area.
Yeah.
It's one of the highest expensed communities
I don't
in
know
the
if I
country.
read the same, I've read something similar where.
There's been numerous articles.
Yeah, and American Airlines is pulling some flights from.
Berkshire
International.
article, yeah, it was like 14 flights a day.
Yeah.
That got pulled out of Austin.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
And that is a bad sign.
Yeah.
And so it's almost like, it's just like the efforts we're doing in recruiting from California, Austin is a California. And so recruiting out of
agree with that.
Austin, I know where you went to college.
It's a nice
Don't
place
take
to
offense.
visit.
They could move out of there any day.
They could.
But,
Yes, sir.
Not the Austin that you and I grew up
no,
hanging out in.
yeah,
you know.
that's right. Okay.
Okay.
You got our instructions.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? All right, appreciate the report. Is there a motion to approve Chris's reports under N7A and N7B for recording purposes?
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and second. Any other discussion? No discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Pass. Thank you.
Thank y'all.
Thank you, Chris.
All right, under item O, Americans with Disabilities Compliance Project, O1 is authorization of professional services invoice with CP&Y doing business as STV. This is for the Records Building ADA renovations for the month of June. It totals $213. It's been reviewed and recommended for approval.
Okay.
Motion to approve.
Motion second. Any other discussion? No other discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Pass.
All right, Judge, that'll leave us with item N4 to come back to after executive session, and then anything on, under J2A on the FY25 budget. So I don't know, do we want to touch on budget now or after executive session?
Was Herb gonna zoom in, or was he gonna come in?
He's here. He's here.
Oh, okay. Well, why don't we go ahead and go into executive session, and in that we'll have a break as well. So I would go recommend going under section 551.071 of the government code pertaining to legal matters.
So while we're getting stuff pulled up still, of course, last Wednesday, we filed the proposed budget. You proposed the tax rate. There'll be publications that go out informing the public of that tax rate and how it affects them. There's some historical information in that publication as well, but that'll come out later this month. And then, of course, we'll have a tax rate hearing on the evening of the 20th. So we'll have a meeting that day. We can also follow up with anything we need to do that day, public hearing that evening. And then on Tuesday, the 27th, we'll start with the hearing on the budget and then follow up with any needed discussion and then adoption.
On that evening hearing, are there any votes that take place?
No.
That's just to listen to people?
Correct.
Okay.
I'll open the hearing and then people, if they want to speak, can speak, and then we'll close the hearing and.
Adjourn? Is it actually a meet, it's a meeting though?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a posted meeting.
Posted, then you'll adjourn.
In the
Okay.
past, when we've had them, it might be two people, one person, maybe 10 minutes.
Well, what didn't last year, didn't we have one in the morning and one in the evening last year?
We don't need to.
No, the rules have changed. You used to have two, but those rules have changed.
Okay.
So one is
Commissioner, if there was like if we would have gone up on the tax rate above last year's, and that, I would have 2 meetings to be sure people, at least 2. And maybe one during working hours and one after working hours, or one early, or, different, accommodate that we were available to listen to any concerns.
There's also an electronic way of people making comments as well now. That's mandatory, set by the state. And so the tax office helps that. And if any of those comments come through, I'll push them to you as
So
well.
has our proposed been loaded to the Truth and Taxation website? Do you know?
No, not to the Truth and Taxation website. No, sir. We have it on our website under the budget office page, of course, but we don't put anything on the state comptroller's website.
Okay, well, I wonder how that happens then, because I noticed that the city's proposed tax rate is on there. Somebody's.
Oh, their tax rate, their proposed rate,
Yeah,
but not their budget.
Somebody, so I guess somebody in the comptroller's office is monitoring that. And
Yes, so I thought you were talking about the actual budget.
Uh-huh.
So I'll make sure, I'll see what if the tax office has something they do there.
They must,
to
yeah.
To submit those, but, yes, sir. I just, if there's anything that y'all want to bring up today or anything you want to discuss, we left here, on Wednesday, before we filed, and we talked through, those last decisions that were made, and one of those was a 1% COLA for retirees. We looked at how that would affect the expenditures going forward.
Yeah, so I was wondering what the, what the final tally looks like, the final summary looks like with this $9 million added into the,
So what will be affected, and we haven't got a chance to, we need to change the beginning fund balance. Yes. One sec, we haven't had a chance to do that yet. So I think if we just add this number. Yes. And then we'll back off that same number. I'm sorry. Oh, no. Put your hand. And so what it does is it changes your estimated beginning fund balance, of course, so that increases. And then the tax revenues, expenditures, however you want to look at that, it's just that it's still the same for M&O. We would just push more to permanent improvement.
and what did we end up?
37.
What did we end up deciding on that? The whole 9 million in?
So there was discussion, we left it at, we would do that whole 9 million to keep that whole because we had planned on using that 9 million for the downtown jail. But that was where we left that.
And also, there were some other expenses that we really haven't gone into a lot of detail about, other than just briefly mention or briefly mentioned, I guess. And one would be, once that facility's finished, we still have some expenses within this courthouse. And moving JPs and could be some other things too that we really haven't totally identified. But the other thing would be in the bus barn parking lot, where there could be some additional things that we do there. And then the other properties that we have, 1211 and those kind of things. So that was kind of thought in it, and it just takes the complication of dealing
The
outside of
time,
this.
the time,
Yeah.
time factor, yeah, right.
This
Departments, everybody said, yeah, that's obviously the place to go with it.
Okay.
So,
But the 37% includes the retiree.
Well, that's not,
Yeah, one sec, she's gonna add that just to kind of show this in and out. In the end, you know, your bottom, your final.
Well, you hadn't adjusted for the monies that we talked about today.
Yes, that's what we were working on.
she's not showing the whole sheet
That's not
there.
there yet.
We're just playing with it. But in the end, it would be, you know, it's just an in and out. It increases your beginning fund balance, and then we increase the transfer. The tax revenues just get pushed to permanent improvement, so.
You gotta pull that out of contingency somehow, because that's affecting your final fund balance.
Yes, sir.
Was there any discussion, Haley, on what I talked with you about last week from the county clerk's offer?
Yes, sir. He said he was gonna wait on it this year and possibly look at it next year.
As far as paying the Tyler?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, but he would,
But that would be legal, though?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. Just currently, they're using those special revenue funds for
Okay, what am I?
some other.
Okay. Okay.
Sorry, we're playing with the numbers.
It has to do,
But the nine,
your,
it's connected to different
Yeah, it's-
sheets, so we're working on it.
yeah, that's all. Because your fund balance is not not reflective of your contingency, correct? And the contingency is not considered an expense.
For the 33% calculation, we don't, just because it's not just your normal operating, it's up and above that, so.
But doing all that calculation drops our fund balance below 33?
No, we're getting.
Oh, we haven't got there yet? Okay.
Click on that formula.
The formula for that ending fund balance, total ending fund balance, go to that formula.
The 31.2%.
They're still working on trying to plug in the right numbers here, I think.
To add in, I guess the additional increases. You know what I mean? This number, the 9064.
Well, the parking lot sure looks nice.
yeah,
Slick.
yeah.
Have they already spread that? What kind of, what was that over, what were they dumping a bunch of out this
He was
morning?
subtracting it.
It's looked like it's some just sand or engineered dirt, or something like that, or?
So it took me a minute.
Oh, they are?
Flex base?
They are putting a
What is there,
flex base?
6-inch flex base?
I think it's 6 inches.
I think they said 6-inch, I thought, yeah, 6-inch flex base.
It's not the tan flex base that we use for our roads,
No,
but it's more of a
it's a sandy look.
gray pressure run type.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
So, so that's, and again, it's just that same number there. We've made a couple tweaks in this budget that we'll go over, since we last met. But other than that, you're right at 33%
There we are.
and at 56,000.
And that includes the 1% to the retirees?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Said COLA, right?
COLA. Mhm.
I guess we'll go ahead. I was going to say, one of the adjustments we've made since last time we met was we have adjusted down the request for the vehicle for for the engineer to the actual quoted amount that purchasing
Yeah.
has assisted them in getting. And so I believe that came to right under 60, 69, yes.
I think 63.
So we've adjusted that. So you'll see that adjustment in the budget.
Yeah.
69 was the total with
Yeah,
everything.
and we may have to add some things to that later on, but
Oh, for sure.
step and then a ranch hand guard or something like that on the front.
So when we left last week, it was at 85,000. So we've adjusted that, just to point that out. And there was also just an addition, just something that had happened when, with personnel, when we were going through personnel increases, we had to make one slight adjustment there.
If I may say, that 69,760, that included all of the options that we had discussed. I had talked to Zane, and we talked about removing some of those options that take it down a little bit further, but on his on that vehicle, the Tahoe.
What are we putting it on? What did we decide? What kind of vehicle? Pickup, Tahoe? What it is? It is up on Tahoe.
Strip down.
Okay, thank you.
The Tahoe is what we have hard numbers on.
Okay.
They don't have future pricing on the pickup or a Traverse or some of those other vehicles yet. And so I don't have anything in writing on those. With the Tahoes, again, even they get the most interest because that's what most all the law enforcement folks need and want at this time.
It's got clearance and all that, so that'd be helpful. So I think it's the right kind of vehicle for that. Okay.
Okay.
What else?
So that's where we're at. We don't have anything else to bring forward to you right now, unless there's something else that you would like us to look into or look at options for. We'll continue to go through this with a fine tooth comb and make sure that, everything, just keep double checking and triple checking things. But as it stands right now, I think we're in a good place.
Okay.
You've met your goals and it seems like everything is included that you wanted to be, so.
Question for the commissioners, y'all feel good about everything you need in road and bridge and inventory and all those kind of things, so.
I like the budget.
Yeah.
We're fine.
I feel really good about the job we did in putting these factors in there whether it's
Operational.
yeah, operational and the personnel. I felt
The vacancy, our application,
yeah,
of
right.
how we handle
Yeah, I think we're gonna still be where nobody's hamstrung by anything
We'll know more next year, but I'm thinking that approach is gonna be one that we'll use from now on.
Go forward with.
Great. And I think
Percentage rather than,
and we can tweak that percentage based on,
and we pull
Trends.
the obstacles of getting people actually hired, that would be, HR would have to deal with by using the dollar placeholder. So I think that's what let's do from.
much better
and I think with those factors,
dollar placeholder.
and with those factors incorporated, when we end next year, end of 2025, seeing how close we come to that 33% number will be really telling. So it'll be fun to watch through the year, I think, how that turns out.
Could we go to the permanent improvement and
course.
the bond, the 401 and all that?
And then again, while we're getting that pulled up, that 9 million, as it increased our fund balance this year, because it was personnel, which is reoccurring expenses, then next year it'll just, go right back.
Yeah.
So just wanted to remind you all of that.
That, I understand.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
that's the other side of it.
But that money will stay though in 401.
The amount you transferred this year?
Uh-huh.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. And it's, this is before that, of course. So historically, we have been moving just $1 million, a little over $1 million there in tax revenues from the M&O rate. And so then this would just bring that up to right over 10 million there.
And you want to keep moving. So nothing, y'all haven't changed this?
No, just,
Any?
we wanted to wait to see today what your decision was, so we haven't adjusted that. But, you know, down at the bottom, if we go down, we already had, sorry, no, it's my fault. Right over 4 million in contingencies. And so I think it's good to have some contingencies in this fund. So if you have a need that arises and you don't want to go out for a bond, or, you know, you have some excess needs up and above a bond, we can always come here. We've been using this for smaller projects as well.
So then there would be, so you move that 9, there'd
It'd
be
be
13.
13. Mhm.
Plus, but does that 154 already include the million that's going to be
Yes, sir.
moved over? So
Yes,
that
sir.
4 included that million?
Yes, sir.
So it'd be 9 on top of that then, okay. 13, 154, 23.
And when will we get an update from Brinkley Sergeant? Dustin? It seems like
We
it's
can
been,
get that, yeah, we can get that on the schedule, soon. So we can ask them. I know they're,
When
you know,
it's-
they're turning out documents.
wasn't it spring that, wasn't it in the, when were they here last?
It would have probably been, April, in that time frame. Yes, sir, March, April.
Okay, well.
Yeah, we can get them on the schedule.
About a quarter, yeah. Third, yeah.
All right. Well, that's all I have today. But, you know,
And,
let us know if you need anything.
it's gonna be interesting what next year does with all the challenges in the economy and all that kind of stuff, so. We have some
You know, something I would like to know too is how much TERS 4 is.
You're reading my mind.
Is affecting our revenues.
So, one of the things, it is affecting it, but it is our asset, and that, the question I have, just for fun, I guess, but it would be something a newspaper would probably like to report, is how much money is set aside for economic development. So it'd be money in all the TERSs in the county, as well as the WebMec funding and others. And I think that's gonna give us some confidence that we're prepared to increase growth. Now,
So
we
when-
give up,
So when you say economic development, you mean infrastructure development, things like that,
well, for
correct?
TERS
TERS.
specifically for infrastructure, but
Yeah,
no matter what you're investing in.
because that's all TERS can be used for is
That's
infrastructure.
right, but that's an incentive.
Uh-huh.
And so, so I would say money that would be for infrastructure, anything that incentivizes growth.
Mhm.
And I think that would give us a little bit of comfort, but I am worried about value growth, especially because I think the housing side, from what I'm hearing, I'm not an economist, but I listen to a lot of them, and y'all do too, that we may have some real challenges in home values.
It's
and
amazing.
New homes, new homes.
It's amazing, you know, in 2008, 9, 10.
Yeah.
There were way too many.
Yeah.
Now there's not enough.
Yeah.
And what's being built has such a hefty price tag.
Yeah, right. Uh-huh.
Well, and that's, a lot of that's inflationary, effects of inflation.
A lot of
But the other thing is not just interest rates and those things, but insurance cost has gone up.
Oh, yeah, right. Unbelievable.
And when you do a triple net.
What's up?
Yeah, Ben.
I tried to steer them the other direction years ago.
So when you do a triple net lease, that
right.
insurance factor becomes a much bigger factor
Mhm.
than it did before. And so you put that on top of inflation. I did hear that lumber's dropping, price of lumber. But, you know, I think we got to really watch what we're doing this coming year.
And a comment,
But we do
sorry.
have some new businesses, new construction, commercial coming on.
Yes, we do. Some of them have abatements tied to them, so you're not gonna get the full effect. But you made something happen that might have not happened without it, so.
And that's what we're gonna say about the
We're also-
TERS money is, I would much rather it be in the TERS than in our general fund and us having to come up with it to help bring more attractions in.
Yeah, because they've got an effort to do it. They've
Right.
got a lot of
Right.
folks working on
I
it.
think what we're doing, yeah, we're taking care of today, but we're also taking care of the future for families that are gonna be here after us.
Yeah, yep. Okay.
And Judge, I want to make a comment about, you were talking about the amount, that's going to the TIFs or the TERSs. So we look at those monthly, those taxes actually are funneled to us, and then twice a year, we push those to the entities in February and August, I believe. And so when we look at those reports monthly, I'll start sending those out to y'all as well, so you
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
can see where we're at in the year.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah, good.
And at some point in time, a lot of us sit on TERS boards. It might not hurt to have a report of what's happening on the different. I was at Lorena last night, and the lettuce company is getting ready here very, very soon to start
Sprouting.
From seed to lettuce going out the door, 16 days.
Really?
Let me repeat that. Seed to a head of lettuce, 16 days. And they will shortly be producing 2.5 million pounds of lettuce a year with just the first phase.
So when we started working on that project 4 or 5 years ago, and it was interesting, but we were just getting a little information at a time, and there was more than one company that was wanting to do that. And you know how we put those names on them that are.
Project names.
Yeah, project names. They didn't take mine. I wanted to call it a high-rise cabbage farm. But,
Oh, gosh.
but those things are so unique, and one of them that we looked at was tomatoes. And, tomatoes grow on vines, and so it was like, I would say at least like a 4 or 5 story building. That's how high they went up. And these harvesters were on kind of like a lift. They were on
Yeah, it's hard to find.
lifts, and they would go up, and they had this way to collect these tomatoes at certain times, and they drop down and go into the packaging, and the whole deal.
Pretty amazing.
That's
Yeah.
the deal where
They
they,
ripen and taste the same no matter what.
Supposedly, yes, yeah.
and that's the deal where they grow them upside down, right? Where they're actually-
Yeah,
Hydroponics using to grow it all.
can recapture a lot of water.
Yes, amazing.
There's a big article in Texas Monthly this month about water. I haven't read it yet, but it's.
I'll look at it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's about water waste.
Yeah.
More than anything.
Big problem. All right,
What else?
good conversation.
That's
Okay, Mercedes, is there anything we left out?
Yes, Judge, the court still needs to cover item N4.
All right, well, we want to pull that with no action. All right, anything else to come before the court? If not, we stand adjourned.